What's up, guys? My name is Mad Squash 924. Welcome to the Banner Saga, a strategy game that has a lot of split-end choices, if I remember right. And there's 3 of them. I've only ever played the first game through, and I played that years and years ago. So, it should be fun. The story in Banner Saga changes based on the choices you make. You will occasionally switch between lead characters, witnessing the story's perspectives of others unfold. The gods are dead. In their wake, man and giant survived through a tenuous alliance, driving black destroyers called Dredge deep into the northern wastes. Now is an era of growth and trade. Life goes on. Only one thing has stopped. The sun. I'm going to try to roleplay as other characters too. I don't remember if they're voiced or not, so I'll voice them myself and act as their voice. And
it has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities on the Val-human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital. Several days ago, the sun simply came to a stop in the sky. Though during these long winter days, none of us can be certain how long it has been this way. Some of the men in the caravan have taken it as a dire omen. I am not quick to superstition, but I myself will be glad to be done with this year's rounds. We have been warned by stranded travelers about brigands on the path through Ridgehorn, our road home. Our captain seems unconcerned. Perhaps he is as eager as I to be done here. We will rest here this day and inquire further when we speak to the governor.
so yeah, there's our setup.
Komið skjótt! Komið í höllina miklu! Gist ég leyfa oss að syngja?
See, pretty cool so far.
Hverfið á braut! Engan eigi ég hlut að máli þessu!
Okay, you've arrived just in time. The chieftain in red and his men are now lurking at a tougher fight than they bargained for. Alright, so we can use this to move around and other stuff. These portraits show the order of initiative, taking turns from left to right. Your allies are in blue and the enemies are in red. Yeah. Then it shows your shield banger is active. The blue tiles around him show where he can move. Some characters fill more tiles than others. Yeah, because they're giants, makes sense. The Horned Allies are a race of giants called Varo, who take up 4 tiles each, while humans fill a single tile. It's going to have a huge impact on your strategy. Use the chosen tile and press A to confirm the movement, and move your shield banger here to get him in range, which we will. The enemy tiles are in red and pulse if the enemy is in range. To target a nearby enemy, use the left thumbstick and select the attacked option and press A on it. So we have our thingy, and then you choose either to attack the enemy's strength or to break his armor. A number beneath each 2 or 5 show the damage you will do to said stat. So he has 2 armor in itself, right? Is that what I'm reading? Strength counts as both health and damage. Okay. As lots of strength means you'll now do 2 less damage. If the strength falls to 0, the character falls in combat. Armor blocks that damage, however, and by breaking armor, you open up to taking more damage. So in this case, from what I'm seeing here, we could do 5 strength damage, but if my math is right, then they'll only actually do 1 damage because of the 4 armor, if that's how I'm understanding it correctly. They want us to use this though, and destroy his strength stat. Okay. Or do we do 9? We do 9 damage total? No, I guess we do the 5. It's down each time you make a kill, your renown grows, which is used later to improve your characters. After taking action, your turn will end. Next is up the enemy. Your turn always alternates even if you are outnumbered. It'll always go back and forth, I understand. Despite being full strength, the chieftain will do a little damage against your shieldbanger's high armor. Now it is the Warhawk's turn. He will appear out of range of these enemies, but all the characters can use willpower to boost their actions. Willpower is limited resources, so use it wisely. This is that yellowy one. By moving on gold tiles, a unit can move further than usual at a cost of willpower per gold tile. Red pulsing tile beneath your enemy shows how close you have to be in range. Okay. He must have like a sweep. Yeah. He has a special ability. What is it? What's it called even? Tempest. Tempest does attack in little sweeps. Okay. So there we go. I make quick work of the chief's bodyguards. When there's only 1 enemy left, players can then enter pillage mode. During pillage mode, each character moves in order, and there are no more guaranteed turns. Check the initiative to see how the orders change. Allies can now get to move twice in a row. If a character does not move on this turn, he will then gain a willpower. The chief will rest this turn. Okay, so shield wall armor, adjacent to self, bloody flail. He doesn't even have armor. And then I can use this to then finish this combat off. Let's do it. Alright. Yo.
Like a rabid wolf, that one. How did it come to this? We fool ourselves believing that peace will last. My grandfather built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, watched the chaos that followed, watched man and var slaughter each other, even before the threats arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more threats to war against, we war against ourselves. This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first. 12 families in the city would gladly take my chair. This one had men waylaying merchants, both north and south of the city, strangling trade quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his last. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off. It just grows a new head. I'm in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight, and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe. Take any men you need. They're loyal, I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
Chapter 1. Only the sun has stopped. You're approached by a familiar man who walks in, steps with you as you're leaving the Great Hall. He cuts to the chase. Eric, steward of Strand. I manage the governor's business. Ubin, isn't it? It is. The governor tells me you'll be giving us a hand. What did you have in mind? Scarflings that you didn't back up in the Great Hall, scattered after you took out their chieftain. The governor just wanted to make sure that they stayed down. Was hoping that you join me at the marketplace by the docks. If anyone left to worry about, I know who can tell us. Okay, and we can use these smart tents. The market. We can only visit the market right now. Let me do this. You meander through the rows of open faces, houses, and eroded stalls. Colored canvases flap on a briny current. One man in particular blanches as you approach. Hard, I'm not in the mood today. For what? For what? Talking to an idiot. The Scaffolding's chieftain bled out about an hour ago, Hard. Someone you will tell me that the rat heinous the rest of them crawled back into. Nobody's going to try to kill you this time. I don't talk to you. They don't talk to me. Eric, need some help here. Hard, I had a change of heart. I hope you do give us a hard time. Ed sweats visibly, fumbling with some dirty trinkets on his table. Wait! Just buy one of these. Everybody thinks I'm going to get worked over every week. How am I supposed to know much? Just a little food, yeah? He motioned to Gunwolf, your enormous bodyguard, who looms over the man like a snake over a mouse. Good, Eric! Hang on a bit heavy, don't you think? Well, the Scaffoldings. No of them may not buy the East Wall, but that was months ago, last I knew. Had skulks away with a wave of Eric's hand, gathering things from his hovel. Disappearing for a while until this blows over, you figure. The bodyguard steps forward. Are we done here? Oh no. Were you wearing green back at the Great Hall? No, I just bought them while you were walking around. Why? They look good. Glad you care. Gunwolf goes off to look at more stalls. Eric, the man of yours seems unreliable at best. A blind dog wouldn't trust Hard, but he used to be a scaffolding. If they look in their wounds, they're probably going to the old haunts, not new ones. The woman is a meat hole. Mr. Hell, that name's ironic. Listen, I know a guy who would love to put a few of these skulls in the ground. I'm going to find him. I'll meet you there. Where is this place again? Every minute's halfway up the hill towards the Great Hall. You won't miss it. Just make sure the governor remembers his promise. Doubles the usual tithe. I'll remind him. Okay. So we didn't use any of our food there. There's a meat house. You arrive in front of what must be noblemen. A few minutes later, Eric appears with a weather-beaten man introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out, Eric says over his shoulder. Ready? You're walking through the front door? They ran to a mead house, says Valgard. I'd be surprised if they stand up straight right now. Okay, here we go. Valgard boots the front door open so hard it won't close again without repair. As you enter the hall, Eric is already at the head of a table, his axe drawn, wide-eyed. Drunken scaffoldings scramble to find their own weapons, turning tables and mead steins in the process. Okay. So can I choose like the starting location for everybody? Pretty cool. Alright. I was hoping for more of a fight than this. Look at him, it's gonna be a butchery. Alright, so I'm gonna move Valgard up. And Stonewall does what now? Plus damage and strengthens armor for 1 round. Rally. Gives willpower to allies at any range. Alright, so Thug Swordsman has... Okay, he has some stuff going on. We'll do this. Should kill him. Alright, let's go here. What's this? Oh, movement. That'll kill him. Gunolf up. Nice. Interesting little ability he just did. And we do this, that'll kill him. I'll move him over here. Not that it matters. Nice. That's that. Alright, so promotion, he got, okay. Well, he got promoted, but I couldn't see what. It was too fast. What did I get for a reward? I don't know. There they are. Gosh be damned. I've got to go wash off this blood. Eric is looking out the hall's windows onto the bay. A fleet of longships approaches with sails of bold reds and blues. One banner I know well, Wagner. Next of all, kingship last we spoke. The other flag. Looks important. Yeah, important guests. See what I deal with all day long? Things make a little more sense. You hoped I'd have a stake in saying. Everything's fine here, when the royal guests arrived. Not me, Governor. Now I have to make sure there are no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask for one more favor? What is it? If you happen to store our guests down in the docks, I wouldn't object. Maybe I will. Eric and Valgard hustle from the mead house. To his credit, Eric tosses the barkeep a bar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go to greet the new arrivals down at the docks. So how does one see our crew? Is this? Oh, that's our morale, our days of supplies. Okay. So docks. Wagner! A familiar Varl steps onto the docks. In your mind, you recall a much younger version of tramping of the halls of Grofheim, abundant in purpose. Go, Dubin! You're looking ancient. Comes with being old. And if there's Wagner, there must be Hakon. Must there? Still bleeding tributes from the poor, stupid old Yorks. At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Yonder demands it. I'll take that over lingering to the death in Grofheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Marabang, in fact. And glad for it. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay. Sails still fluttering. Golden Wolf head emblazoned on red. The king of men or someone on his behalf. The king's hill whelp. The king's son Ludin. Then Scrivener. We visit his capital, he visits ours. That's how we make alliances these days. It's a bit of a waste of time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing that you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grofheim? I have this distinct feeling I finished my business in Strand. I was heading there myself. You should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away. But let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. Was he trying to say, is the prince a delight to behold? Well, to Moga. Hakon, find him a place to put up the governors, the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants departs in his wake. You recognize a few, others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Mogia. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beast with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world the sort of boy grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Grofheim should be more interesting than most years, you think. Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself up what an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Vognir's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. Okay, so we can talk to the prince or we can join the boys, basically. Interesting. We'll talk to the prince. Is this the right place? You find the prince at an inn. Guards blink at the building, including a sharp-eyed Varl who must be working for Ludin. A woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby in arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Ludin. Yes, you're with Vognir. I don't remember you. Not exactly. I've known Vognir a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grofheim with my guards. Ludin looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king. Carrying ties to the capital, we crossed by chance. I'm a tax collector. Fun company. What do you want? You collect taxes for the Varl territories? A true pleasure. Yes. An awkwardness hangs in the air like a thick fog. You take the opportunity to depart. Okay. Scrivener! You find Hakon in a meat house surrounded by other Varl. Strand is no stronger to Varl, but rarely sees this many. Hakon waves you over. Went straight for a flagon. Vognir's the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? When I got here to the Great Hall, it was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Ah! Humans! I guess if only I lived as long as a Yark's fire, I might be desperate enough to make something of myself too. It's not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon lets slip a low chuckle. Any Varl could recount his deeds, known as far for cutting a swath through the dredge at Vognir's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here, I'm a grove for a bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grofheim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink until the meat house becomes overbearing, and then step back into the cool air outside. Okay. To the Great Hall. At dawn, you're awoken by a delivery of goods. At least you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with the sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers. All theirs just as promised. To your mild surprise, you wonder if Eric had anything to do with that. Your guards take the treasure wagon down to the gate. Vognir's already there. A while later, Ludin and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Malgir steps forward. Vognir's quartermaster, if you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. He asks if you're ready to depart. We're ready. You follow Malgir and join the others. Usually the smaller doors set into the gates would be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They muster things under their breath that are best not heard. Perhaps the governor expected you to draw a crowd, but there's nothing of the sort, just frustrated, tired people. It summarizes Strand well as a whole, if you think. And I think with that, that's also a good place for us to end today's episode of the Banner Saga. Hope you guys all enjoyed. If you guys have, make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment. Tell me what you think of today's episode, of course. And if you're new to my channel or have been watching me for a little while and you haven't done so, feel free to subscribe to me, MadSquash924, and don't forget to ring the bell to get notified of my latest videos. On the next episode, we are going off, and I will see you then. Goodbye.